My colleague Shendu for more updates on this. We'll talk about New Orleans attack. Shendu first, global condemnation, condolences for this attack. Attacker has been identified who pledged to support ISIS. Tell us, are there more suspects?
That's right, Abhishek. Condemnations have been pouring in after the shocking attacks around the New Year's in New Orleans as well as Las Vegas. Well, more and more as the investigation unfolds, it is being looked as what has been understood as a lone wolf attack, particularly the attack that took place in New Orleans when a truck was used to plow down innocent civilians in that part of the city. Samsituddin Jabbar is the suspect who carried out the attack. As you mentioned, there was an ISIS flag found on social media accounts. He had sworn allegiance to ISIS ideology. It does bring back really dark memories of the spurt in lone wolf attack in the US, in the West, in Europe, in many parts of the continent. At the time when ISIS was peaking in its power, new developments are taking place in the West Asia. As we understand, the Assad regime has fallen, Abhishek. This is also seen as experts as an opportunity for ISIS fighters to regroup. It is also to be seen the manner in which ISIS had been operating in the past. There was no direct linkages. The linkage would usually be the radicalized ideology that would operate a lone wolf. An individual would carry out an attack and swore allegiance to ISIS. That is the kind of format, that is the kind of mode that it appears to be, at least the New Orleans attack. More details are awaited as far as the Las Vegas attack is concerned. What is also disturbing is the link that both these attackers are in fact citizens of America and have a link to the US Army past and the present.
As far as the reactions are concerned, Shendu, President Joe Biden reassuring that US will relentlessly pursue ISIS and other terrorist organizations. You think it will be the biggest challenge for the Trump-led US government now, who will take charge this month on 20th?
That's right, Abhishek. Fighting terrorism is an ongoing challenge for the United States and democracies across the world. But in this case, at the moment, we also see a certain political coloring of what has happened. President Joe Biden and President-elect Donald Trump, in fact, taking opposing stance on what has happened. President Biden looking at it as an incident of terror, and that the authorities will pursue the culprits wherever they may be. On the other hand, President-elect Donald Trump, who in fact in just over a week is going to be the new president of the United States, has squarely blamed President Biden's, the Democrats' immigration policy, open borders, illegal immigrants, something that had also driven his election campaign. The interesting part is that with the identification of both the attackers have been verified, both of them happen to be US citizens and not immigrants or illegal immigrants. Also, both of them have served in the US Army. In fact, Matthew Levesbergers, who was responsible for blowing up the Tesla truck outside of Trump Tower in Las Vegas, in fact, is currently is assigned with the Army. He was on leave when this incident took place. So in that sense, there is a certain version of events, version of narrative that President-elect Donald Trump intends to put forward. In fact, he would take it forward as well. One of his priorities is going to be the election promise of deporting some 11 million immigrants. So incidents like this that jeopardize public order, public safety, are going to enable President Trump to take forward his agenda of getting the country rid of illegal immigrants for now.
Shendu, also very quickly, does the initial finding show that there is no link between New Orleans truck attack and Vegas Tesla blast?
Abhishek, although these incidents, both these incidents took place in a short interval between the two, and they took place in different parts of the United States. Officially, the authorities say there is no direct link between the two attacks. They cannot ascertain if the attackers knew one another, but there are some interesting linkages that can be unearthed. the one that I mentioned earlier, that they both have links to the US Army. Shamsuddin, in fact, had served earlier in the US Army in IT and HR department, whereas Matthew Lewis Berger is currently was serving the US Army. He was on leave. Another interesting linkage is that the data shows, although more details are still awaited, both of them may have been stationed and trained at some point in their careers in North Carolina base, the mega US Army base in North Carolina. There, both of them have a record of serving. Also, both these suspects have also, the data shows, have served in Afghanistan, although it cannot be ascertained at the moment if they both knew one another, if they served in Afghanistan or were stationed in North Carolina at the same time. So officially, no linkages, but the details that are emerging are interesting.
All right, Shubhendu, we'll leave it at that. Thank you for getting us the updates on that story.